Hi there, this is Pádraig here at Payroll Matters in Ireland, and today I want to talk to you about public holiday entitlements. May I say first off that only about half of this guide will affect you. It is split into two sections, one for whole-time staff and one for part-time staff and casuals. Don't be put off by all the options. They are in fact easy to understand once you have watched this step-by-step guide once. We now have 10 public holidays in Ireland, and with these come numerous and varied questions about entitlements like, I work full-time, what am I entitled to? I work part-time, what am I entitled to? I finish work 4 days before the public holiday, am I entitled to anything? I'm off on long-term sick leave, am I entitled to something? I'm currently on parental leave, am I entitled to a public holiday entitlement? I was laid off 2 months ago, am I entitled to a public holiday entitlement? I'm working 11-hour shifts on the public holiday, what am I entitled to? The calculator can answer all of these questions and many more similar questions. Before I go into my simple guide on how to use the calculator to get answers to your questions, can I request that to keep up to date with Payroll Matters in Ireland, please hit that subscribe button. Subscribing will cost you absolutely nothing but may help us at Payroll Matters in Ireland, the page and group to help PAYE workers with their questions on pay, PAYE income, tax returns, tax back, tax credits and many more pay and work related issues to continue making helpful videos like this one on all types of payroll PAYE issues and on step-by-step revenue my account guides. Please don't just skip over our request for you to subscribe to our channel. We do really need your help. Okay, enough of that for now. It is not obligatory to subscribe in order to get all the help we provide to PAYE workers either on here or on our Facebook page or group. We have been doing all of this for free regardless of whether you subscribe or not, and we will continue to do so for as long as we can. However, we cannot guarantee that we will be in a position to continue with this work indefinitely without your subscription to this channel, which I repeat costs you nothing apart from the little effort of logging into your Gmail account, going onto our channel and hitting that subscribe button. If you don't have a Gmail account, it is very easy to set one up for yourself. The first question in this calculator I think is the most important question and hence has the most options. The purpose of the questions is quite simple. If you match the criteria in any of these questions, then you are more than likely eligible for a public holiday entitlement from your current or your previous employer. The options are currently working would be the most common answer, in that the majority of people asking the question about public holiday entitlement will be in employment and working immediately prior to the public holiday with their current employer. The next question is if you were made redundant less than 13 weeks prior to the public holiday. If so, you qualify for the public holiday entitlement, and this would normally be included with your last payment. If it was not, then it is worth looking into. The next option is if you commenced carer's leave less than 13 weeks prior to the public holiday. While on carer's leave, an employee accrues public holidays, but only during the first 13 weeks of their leave. The next option is if you ceased your employment less than 7 days prior to the public holiday. If your employment finishes during the week ending on the day before the public holiday and you have worked for your employer for the previous 4 weeks, you are entitled to receive pay for the public holiday. This also applies to part-time employees who have worked at least 40 hours in the previous 5 weeks. The next option, were you on sick leave for less than 26 weeks immediately prior to the public holiday? You are entitled to pay or time off for the public holiday if you were on sick leave immediately before the public holiday for less than 26 weeks due to an ordinary illness. You are not entitled to pay or time off for the public holiday if you were on sick leave immediately before the public holiday for more than 26 weeks due to an ordinary illness. The next option is were you on occupational sick leave for less than 52 weeks immediately prior to the public holiday. You are entitled to pay or time off for the public holiday if you were on occupational sick leave immediately before the public holiday for less than 52 weeks due to an occupational accident. You are not entitled to pay or time off for the public holiday if you were on occupational sick leave immediately before the public holiday for more than 52 weeks due to an occupational accident. On protected leave, it is important to note that an employee continues to accrue public holidays as normal during protected leave types such as annual leave, certified sick leave and carers leave, which we have already covered. The others are maternity leave, adoptive leave, parental leave, paternity leave, force majeure and parents leave. If you are out of work at the time of the public holiday because of any of these leave types, choose that option. If you are out due to any of these leave types, you are entitled to pay or time off for the public holiday. Other. It is unlikely that you are entitled to pay or time off for the public holiday if you choose this option. Please bear in mind that these are the minimum statutory entitlements which every employer is required to abide by law. However, your employer may have a more favourable scheme, so check your terms and conditions of employment to see if you may have any entitlement. The next question has just two choices. You work whole-time when you work the full number of hours in the week. This is normally 39, but can be less, but usually not less than 33. Part-time is when you work less hours than your whole-time equivalent. Either way, don't get too bogged down. If you don't know exactly what the answer is, it should be in your contract of employment. If you are still unsure, just choose one of them. If your contract says casual, then that would be part-time. Notice as you toggle between whole-time and part-time how the questions change. Most whole-time or full-time employees and part-time employees who have worked for their employer at least 40 hours in the previous 5 weeks before the public holiday qualifies for public holiday benefit. They are entitled to one of the following: a paid day off on the public holiday, an additional day of annual leave, an additional day's pay, a paid day off within a month of the public holiday. Qualifying part-time employees who do not normally work on the public holiday receive 1/5 of their weekly pay. Even if they are never rostered to work on a public holiday, they are entitled to 1/5 of their weekly pay as compensation for the public holiday. If weekly pay varies, then the employer uses an average of the weekly pay over the last 13 weeks prior to the public holiday and divides it by 5 to get a day's pay. You don't have to be concerned about this, as the calculator will do it for you. The next section deals solely with whole-time staff. If you are part-time, proceed to 8 minutes 45 seconds in this video. You can toggle between whole-time and part-time to see that there is a big difference between the questions that need to be answered, depending on whether you are part-time or whole-time. I will deal with the whole-time first. The next question is, were you rostered or asked to work on the public holiday? What this means is, if you are normally rostered to work on the day of the public holiday, for example, if Monday is a public holiday and you normally work Monday to Friday, then the answer is yes. If you normally work Wednesday to Friday, the answer is no to this question, except in the case that you were asked to work and you agreed to work on the public holiday. Then in that case, you answer yes. When you answer no to this question, then you can enter 0 or blank in the next 4 questions, because they are not applicable when you are not rostered or asked to work on the public holiday. For whole-time staff, the next row is not applicable, so leave it blank. The next question for whole-time staff is, how many hours were you rostered to work on the public holiday? If you normally work 8 hours on Monday and the public holiday is on Monday, then enter 8. If you were rostered or scheduled to work 12 hours on the public holiday, then enter 12. You can exclude breaks when you enter the number of hours you were rostered to work, because we're only interested in how much you would be due to get paid for the public holiday. The next question, did you work on the public holiday? Be a little careful here. You may have been rostered to work on the public holiday and actually did work, or you may have been rostered to work and did not actually work. For example, the business may close on the public holiday. There is a distinct difference between being rostered to work and actually doing the work. The other instance is that you may not be rostered to work, but were asked to work and you chose to actually work on the public holiday. Enter the number of hours worked, excluding unpaid breaks. Note the change in the questions when you toggle between the yes and no answer to where you were rostered or asked to work on the public holiday. The last question for whole-time staff is, what are or were your normal weekly working hours? This should be outlined in your contract of employment. Proceed to 10 minutes and 8 seconds section of this video, as the next section deals with part-time employees. For part-time workers, the next question is, were you rostered or asked to work on the public holiday? What this means is, if you are normally rostered to work on the day of the public holiday, for example, if Monday is a public holiday and you normally work Monday to Friday, then the answer is yes. If you normally work Wednesday to Friday, the answer is no to this question, except in the case that you were asked to work and agreed to come to work on the public holiday. Then in that case, you answer yes. When you answer no to this question, notice the options for the other questions changing, as some of them are not applicable when you are not rostered or asked to work on the public holiday. The next question for part-time workers is, did you work for 40 hours or more in the 5 weeks before the public holiday? In order to qualify, part-time workers must have 40 hours or more worked in the 5 weeks before the public holiday to qualify for the entitlement. You can count time spent on annual leave as time worked when calculating the 40 hours worked in the 5 weeks before the public holiday. Notice the error message at the bottom when you answer no to this question. If you work variable hours from week to week, the average weekly pay for the 13 weeks before the public holiday should be used to calculate public holiday pay due. Exclude pay for overtime. This section now concerns both whole-time and part-time workers. The cells number of hours due at rate of pay for hours worked on the public holidays indicates the payment in hours due for work done on the public holiday at whatever rate is on your contract. Employers may differ on the premiums they pay for work done on a public holiday. The cell minimum statutory public holiday entitlement in hours indicates the extra public holiday entitlement. These hours can be taken as any of the following options, which is determined by your employer: a paid day off on the public holiday, an additional day of annual leave, an additional day's pay, a paid day off within a month of the public holiday. Please note that employees do not have an automatic entitlement to the next day off after the public holiday, even though many employers have this option. It is worth remembering that it is your employer that pays for the public holiday entitlement, not the government, and certainly not the banks. So for this reason, Payroll Matters in Ireland will only refer to a public holiday as a public holiday. We would be extremely grateful if you would try to remember to do the same. Your next step is to complete the actual calculator, which you will find on bppm.ie website, which stands for Boyle Payroll Project Management. On the Payroll Resources tab, click on Public Holiday Entitlement Calculator.php to start using the calculator. Good luck with it. If you have questions, you can ask them in the comments or on the Facebook group Payroll Matters in Ireland. Please help us produce more helpful videos by subscribing to the channel. We really need your help, and as I said already, it costs you nothing to subscribe. See you next time.